Ambassador Carlos Marcio Cozendey is from Brazil's Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
We are fortunate enough to live in a region which is marked by peace. Brazil has settled basically all its border issues. We don't have any issues with any of our neighbors. That allows us to have a focus on keeping the region at peace without interference from the great powers. That's what we act in the region, in Latin America. Also in the South Atlantic Peace and Cooperation Zone. We are going to have a ministerial meeting on that this year, also to reinforce the idea that this southern part and this hemisphere is a peaceful region.
In the beginning, you mentioned that you have seen relatively, in a quiet region, haven't really seen much turbulence. But there has been an event recently, that of Nicolás Maduro, where the U.S. military captured the Venezuelan president and has brought shock to the international community. How does that impact Brazil? And how do you see that perhaps becoming an issue of regional security in Latin America?
Well, that's something that we certainly regret. It was the first time that there was military intervention by the United States in South America. They had intervened before in Central America and Caribbean, but not in South America. So that's regrettable that happened, especially given this concept that we try to defend, that this should be a peaceful region and those kinds of events should not happen. We hope that's a one-off. Now we are supporting Venezuela in recuperating their economy, their political activities internally, and supporting their processes as well. Certainly the Venezuelan people should be the ones who take this forward.
Does this development, though, affect Brazil's strategic relationship with the United States?
I think it can be a good opportunity for cooperation as well with the United States, in the sense that it would seem that after this intervention, the United States is interested in rebuilding institutionality in Venezuela. That has always been our interest as well. So in that sense, if that is correct, if that appreciation is correct, that would be also an opportunity for cooperation.
Brazil is in the Western Hemisphere, and it's interesting. I would like to know, how does Brazil balance its strategic partnership with China, but at the same time maintaining strong ties with the United States, but also Europe?
Mm-hmm. And Brazil has traditionally had very good relationship with all countries in the world. In fact, we are probably the country that has the greatest number of relationships in terms of established diplomatic relations, have basically diplomatic relations with all UN members, plus some countries which are not at the UN. So it's part of the Brazilian tradition to have that kind of relationship with all those countries. And it wouldn't be different with the great powers that have an influence in our region, that have an influence in the world. So I think Brazil has been trying to cooperate with different countries. In case of the United States, a very well-established relationship in terms of investment, in terms of trade, in terms of interpersonal relations. China is something relatively more recent in that respect, because of course relations were established in the 70s, and then since then they have been steadily developing. And Europe is also our matrix in a sense. So all those regions are very present in Brazil and very present in our relations.